Hi there, it's Giza. Today I'm telling you my coming out story. And let me tell you that it is a long story. I'm very excited for this one. I'm going to start with the signs that were pretty much clear. I liked women from a very young age. I'm not going to talk about being a tomboy because a lot of girls are when they are younger. I'm not going to talk about having a lot of friends that are boys because that's also normal. That does not mean anything. I'm not going to talk about me not wanting to wear dresses or skirts. I'm going to talk about the time when I was in kindergarten and I made my mom buy a ring. I made my mom buy a ring for my English teacher at the time. If you're gay, you know that English teachers are special. But after kindergarten, we used to go to like a little thing after school, but it was in school, it was extra activity. And there we had little English classes. And I had a huge crush on the English teacher, but I didn't know that it was a crush. I really, really liked her. And then when I finished kindergarten, I made my mom buy a ring. Like from the jeweler, I made her buy a ring to give my teacher. That is so gay. And I remember clearly giving it to her. I was so shy. Oh my god, I can't remember. Like I gave her the ring and then I couldn't look at her. I was like playing with my jacket and I was so shy. I was so embarrassed to be giving her the ring. But that was so gay. Come on, like that was gay as what the was I thinking in kindergarten? So I was probably, I think I was 5 or 6. 5 or 6. So that was one of the signs that I like women. I think it was pretty clear. And through my life, through my school life, I always loved the English teachers. That's always, always. I remember the first time I saw two women kiss. And I mean the first time I can remember, so I think that was the first time. I was in my dad's car. We were traveling somewhere and he had a little TV on his car. I think I was about 8 or 9. He had a CD with music videos. And then the song Mariposa by Mana was playing and the video was showing. And in the video, there are two women kissing. First of all, when I started watching the video, I thought the main woman there, the main character there, was beautiful. I was mesmerized. Like she was getting ready to go out, and I was like, she's so beautiful. And then in the video, she kisses other woman. And I remember looking at it like, wow. But it's weird that I never thought about it like something that it was not normal. Never, never, never. Even with two guys kissing, I never thought about it like that's something I'm discovering that can happen. I never thought that it was not normal. I don't know if I'm explaining myself well, but what I mean is, I never had that realization that, oh, girls can kiss girls and boys can kiss boys. Like, in my mind, I was never surprised about it. It was like normal. I never grew up around gay people. I was never exposed to gay people. Never. So no one, I don't know. It was always normal. Do you understand what I mean? I was never like, oh, so this can happen. It was like, oh, this is happening. So that's the first girl on girl kiss that I saw. After that, I always had crushes on actresses and singers. I thought that was normal. I thought because they were famous, they were beautiful, I thought it was normal for me to feel that way. But my friends were having crushes on Justin Bieber and One Direction, and I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Now I get it. Now I get why I wasn't crushing on Justin Bieber. Now I know why. But at the time, I was like, no, I think this actress is beautiful. Like Angelina Jolie was my first crush without me even knowing. Once in my heterosexual phase, I made out with a boy because I looked at him and I thought, his lips are like Angelina Jolie's. I want to make out with him. And I thought I was straight. So I made out with a boy because he had lips like Angelina Jolie. What's gayer than that? Another big sign. I should have known. And he was a bad kisser. The worst kiss of my life. The worst. How could I be so blind to the point where I thought his lips look like a woman's lips that I think are beautiful? So I want to kiss him. How could I not connect the obvious? It was obvious. But after that, that was when I was 14, 15, and I still didn't know that I liked women. Just so you know, I found out when I was 17, and I know that there are people who find out much later in their life, but for me, with the signs I was showing, I should have known like way earlier, way earlier. I would have saved so much time with hanging out with boys and getting annoyed by them and bored of them within 1 or 2 weeks. Like, I would start dating a boy, and within 1 week or two, I would get bored and I would be so mean to them. Like, oh, please leave me alone. I don't want to be with you anymore. You annoy me. Stop. And I thought I just got bored really quickly. I never understood why I could never start liking a boy, because I would be like, okay, I'll start dating you. And I thought that my liking for them would grow as we started to date. But that was not the case, because it was like this once we started hanging out. Like, you annoy me. And I never understood why. Now I get it. Now I get it. And they get it too. When I was 17, that's when I realized. And I don't know. What happened was I was in history class and I was reading something about Gia Marie Karangi. I had watched the movie Gia when I was 15, like multiple times. That's my favorite movie. And what I was reading was a poem Gia, the real one, wrote for a girl. And that same poem was in the movie. Okay, so I had heard that poem multiple times. But I was reading it on my phone and it went like, when she kisses me, all four winds blow at my face. But what can you do with a woman that has no love for you? She's my lost captive and no longer lies along my legs. And I was like, I was reading that. The first quote was what got me. Like, when she kisses me, all four winds blow at my face. My mind isn't what it was, but the quote is, when she kisses me, I feel all four winds blow at my face. Okay, that's the right quote from the poem. And I was reading it again and again and again and again, and I was like, and then my friend, my best friend who was beside me, I was talking to someone else and I called him and he was like, what? Like, you interrupted my conversation with someone else. And I was like, I think I like women. And it was like, okay. Then got back to talking to that other person and I was like, no, hey, I think I like women. I'm not kidding. And he was like, okay. Then I was like, okay. That was it. That was me realizing that I like women. It was really okay. I didn't feel like any kind of way. I was mesmerized by it, to be honest. I was mesmerized. I was like, and then everything started to make sense in my mind. Everything from years ago, from it all started to make sense. I was like, so that's it. That's it. That's it. I felt like I was so amazed by it, honestly. I was super okay with liking women because I really, at that point in my life, I already didn't care about other people, what other people thought about me, other people's opinions, their perception of me. I didn't care. So I was like, that makes sense. As soon as I found out, I was always open about it and I was out. Like, I wasn't screaming to all people, look, I like women, I like women. No, I think people started to notice. And if they asked me, I would be like, yeah, and that's it. But I know that there are people who have a hard time accepting themselves when it comes to this. And I understand why, but that never happened to me. I was just completely free within myself. It was simple for me. And I guess I never really knew that I liked women because all the crushes that I had were on actresses and famous people. So I thought that was normal. I never had a crush on someone I knew personally. A few months after, almost half a year after I found out, I started having a crush on a girl. And that was my first girlfriend that I talked about in one of my videos. It will appear here somewhere. And I had never experienced feelings like that. Never. And I was like, oh, yes, this is what it means to really like someone. Like, I was falling in love. That was my first experience with a girl, and I was blown away. And it was a kind of love that it was not soft love because I couldn't deal with those feelings. So I was constantly like anxious. I had anxiety because I could not understand or I could not work those feelings. I don't know how to explain it, but I didn't know what to do with those feelings. Even more because that girl was not out and it was complicated. I never asked her to come out. None of that. I didn't need it. I just wanted to show her how much I loved her and I wanted her to let me do that, but she wouldn't let me. She also had problems with accepting herself and with dealing with her lack of confidence. And I don't know, I think I already said this, but I think we were too young to experience that. I don't know, I think we were too young and immature. And I got my heart broken for the first time. And I was devastated. I was really, really, really depressed. Really depressed. But I got through it. And after that, we even talked and she said she was sorry, but I said like that needed to happen. Like it was good that that happened because I would never be who I am today. Never. I don't think so. Never in a million years I would be who I am today if my heart was not broken at that time. If I didn't experience that. That was a major, major, major event that changed me completely and made me think, okay, you need to work on yourself too, so that when you have another relationship, you'll be able to deal with all that entails. You have to learn to deal with your emotions. You have to learn communication. You have to learn to express your feelings. You don't get into a relationship to gain something from it or to lose yourself in it. You get into a relationship because you love someone. It's not like a give and take thing. So that's what I've been doing, and that's why I am who I am today. Enough of sad things. I think finding out that I like women was one of the best was the best thing that has ever happened to me. Honestly. Not that defines who I am. No, I'm a person way before I'm a lesbian or whatever. But I really love being who I am. I wouldn't choose to be any other way. And I'm so free within myself that I really don't care about what other people think about me. And that's something that my family, and more specifically, my mom and my dad, do not understand. More my mom. The way they found out was my mom found out because when me and my ex broke up, I was depressed. So I told her why. And I don't I never told her with the intent of her accepting me. That's never what I wanted. I'm just telling you something. I always make this comparison that when you're coming out to someone, it's like telling them, "Look, I don't like strawberries." Some people might think, "What? You don't like strawberries? Strawberries are amazing." They might be for you, but for me they're not. I always make that comparison. Like when I tell you that I like women, when I tell you that I'm not straight, I'm not telling you so that you accept what I'm saying. I'm telling you like I'm giving you an information. I don't want your acceptance. I don't need you to be like, "Oh, I accept you." No, that means nothing in my life. And when it comes to my family, they can either accept me, and if they don't, they won't be a part of my life, honestly. It's as simple as that. I know for some people it's harder, but for me, I have it very clear that if my family does not accept who I am or says offensive things towards my community, that's a no for me. And that's something that my mom does not understand. I only recently found out that at the beginning, she didn't like that I like women. I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, I was like sad, and I was what did she say? I can't remember what she said, but she said like she didn't accept it, she didn't like it, but now she looks at it in other way, like she accepts it more. I don't really care. I know she doesn't really, because all my family is low-key homophobic. Uh but the thing is, just because you accept me, it does not mean that when you make some bad comment about someone in your community, you are talking about me too, okay? I'm your daughter. If you make a bad comment, or if you say a sad joke about LGBTQ plus people, you're talking about me too, okay? I know that if someday I'm dating someone, I if my family makes any kind of joke or talks badly about the community, I will lose my completely. Completely. And I know that my mom still has some kind of hope that I will end up with a man. Mom, I'm not sorry that I won't end up with a man. The way my dad found out, someone who was stalking me told him. So I was outed to my dad, and he lost it because he is a drama queen. And he was talking to my mom, and he was like, my mom said, "Oh, that will change. It's just a phase." It's not. And he said, "No, that will never change." At least he got that right. But he was like, "That will never change. I lost my daughter." Please, stop being so dramatic, baby boy. But now we don't really talk about it. Sometimes he will ask me like, "Oh, do you have a girlfriend?" And he thinks that everything I do is based off of me being a lesbian. Every girl that I'm talking to, even if it's just a friend, they are my girlfriend. No, dad. Just chill out, okay? Chill. But all of my family is low-key homophobic, and I don't care. I know that when I have my family and I have a girlfriend, that I don't want to be around them because I will always protect someone that I love from that. Just because I'm your daughter and you accept me, it does not mean that you're not homophobic. And in the outside world, I'm very open with my sexuality. I don't hide. I'm really proud to be who I am, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't. But I noticed that my family, especially my mom, is not comfortable with it. Once we were in a party and we met some women and we were all talking, like, in a party, drunk in the bathroom. And they were my mom's age. And they said, "Oh, you could date my son." And I said, "No, I like women." And they were like, "Oh, really?" And my mom got so uncomfortable. She looked like she was a ghost. You understand that? And I was like, I made you uncomfortable? Good. After they left, she told me, "I never thought you would say that you like women." And I was like, why wouldn't I? I'm totally comfortable with my sexuality and with people knowing my sexuality. Why do you want me to pretend to be someone I'm not? No, I will always be who I am. I will never hide who I am. But I don't judge who does not want to come out because I understand that some people are not comfortable with that. And I think everyone should respect that. Everyone should respect that everyone has their time. Everyone will come out when they feel like they need to come out. If they don't want to come out, they shouldn't come out. I don't think forcing it is a great way to deal with things. Everyone has their time. Everyone has their fears. Not everyone is comfortable. Sometimes people ask me, "I want to come out and I don't know how, I'm scared." Look, you don't need to come out, okay? You just come out if you feel like you want to come out. You don't need to tell everything to your family. And if you feel like you want to start somewhere, you can tell one of your friends, one of your closest friends, try there. And I want you to know that if you are scared to lose people because of who you are, if you lose those people, it's because they were never really meant to be in your life anyway. If they do not love you for who you are, for whoever you are, and whoever you love, then they are not meant to be in your life, even if it means losing close friends and losing family. You have to look out for yourself. You have to love yourself and do not let people tell you who you should be. You know who you are more than anyone else. And if they tell you, "Oh, that's a phase. That's not really you. That's because you watched that on TV. That's because this, no, that's because that's you." And don't let nobody tell you who you should be and who you should love because you're the one who knows. It's like I said earlier, when you're telling someone that you're gay or that you're part of the community, you are giving an information. It's like I said, "I don't like strawberries." Are you expecting that person to say, "Oh, I accept that you don't like strawberries," or "I don't accept that you don't like strawberries"? No, you're not expecting that. So when you tell someone that you're gay or that you're a lesbian, that you're trans, if they don't accept you, if they don't respect you, it's because they are not meant to be in your life. They don't deserve you. They don't deserve your heart. They don't deserve your person. You have to do that work mentally. I know it's hard because it will be uncomfortable to lose people, but you have to do that work. You have to fight to be yourself and to be happy. And if you are out already, Don't force anyone to come out, and don't tell them that they are wrong for not wanting to come out. Everyone has their time. That's what I say in most of my videos. Everyone has their time. I think love is such a beautiful thing, but you know what the most beautiful love is? The love you have for yourself. So don't forget, love yourself, be gay or not, but if you're not gay, be an ally. Love yourself, love who you are, be proud of who you are, and until then, see you next time.